You say the number $3,000 a month and they go quiet. 3 seconds, maybe 5. You can feel every one of them. In that silence, most Indian agency owners fold. They start talking. Of course, we can adjust the scope. There is flexibility depending on your budget. They negotiate themselves down before the client has said a single word. If you're an Indian agency owner who can deliver the work but freezes the moment a real number leaves your mouth, this video is for you. That silence is not rejection. It's a test. And every time you break it early, you fail. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what to do when the silence comes, step by step, not a confidence tip, a system you can plug into your next call. If you guys don't know me yet, my name is Vedank and I build an agency in the French market. Over the past 5 years, we've done more than 75 million euros cash collected for our clients, more than 400 clients served, within 42 different niches. And as a result, we collected 14 million for ourselves. Now, I want to give you some context before I go further. In my last video, I covered the full pre-call preparation framework, and I also told you about the discovery system. This is a sales process we are using on a daily basis. But I also told you how I actually research my clients, how I get leads, the question I ask, and also how we handle the most common objections. If you haven't watched this video yet, I strongly recommend you pause this video and please go watch it first because this video builds directly on that. So what I'm going to cover today is very specific. I'm going to tell you why you have to split your sales process into 2 separate calls and what needs to happen in the 48 hours between the 2 calls. And I will also tell you how you have to open the second call when you want to charge high ticket, which means minimum $10,000 per month. These are the parts that are completely different at this price point. And they are the parts most people never figure out. And the process I'm about to show you is the exact same I'm using in my agency on a daily basis. So the first thing I want you to understand is the philosophy of high-ticket agency sales. If you're pitching on your first call, you're making a huge mistake. I want you to understand something. The first call is all about building rapport. On the first call, you do not pitch, you do not mention a price, you do not present a solution. I want you to get this. Not pitching is exactly the positioning we are looking for. Think about what happens when you go to a cheap service. You walk in, you describe the problem, they're already quoting you. Price, timeline, deliverable, done in 90 seconds. Now, think about what happens when you go to a real specialist. They ask questions you didn't expect. They take notes. They say, I need to look at this more carefully before I can even give you a recommendation. And they come back to you with a document. So let me ask you, which one felt more premium? And that's not an accident. That's the system. See, when you split your process into 2 calls, you are not slowing down the process. You are sending a strong signal to the client, which is this person takes my problem seriously enough to study it before solving it. Your prospect should leave the first call considering you as a specialist. And guess what? Specialists don't quote on the spot. And before we go further, I want to talk about one of my clients. His name is Bekir. He's from Turkey and he grew up in Belgium, same as me. And the guy was selling a B2B consulting offer. So he launched his new offer. He did some outreach, ran some ads. He got 8 sales calls. So basically, when we met, this guy had no experience. He had never signed a client before. And so we worked on his messaging, his offer, his outreach message, his attraction system. And then I just give him the framework I'm about to give you today. He got 8 sales calls. The first 7, nothing happened. Call number 8, he got his first close. He signed his first client at 5,000 euros. And guess what? The month after that first close, he made 20,000 euros. Not 8 months in, only a month. Not after building a team. 1 month after the first close. And the funny thing is that Bekir, he knew sales a bit. He was doing door-to-door since he was 16. He understood rejection. However, what he didn't have was a process for the premium price point. This system gave him that. 1 close, 20k the following month. And I want you to understand this. That's the ceiling you are working toward. And it starts with understanding why the 2-call model works. So now let's get into the details. Let's talk about the first call. I covered the full discovery framework in my last video. I'm walking you through the questions, the listening, the recap, it's all there. If you didn't watch it yet, please go watch that. What I want to add today specifically for this video is that if you are charging high ticket, on the first call, your only job is to find out what's broken and how much it's costing them. Not to impress them, not to sell them, not to code them. I want you to ask your questions, take notes, and at the end of the call, say exactly this. Okay, Mr. Client, I've got a clear picture of what you're dealing with. I want to go away, look at this properly, and put together something specific, something designed to your situation. I'd like to meet you again in maximum 48 hours. Can we please have a look at your calendar? And then you just schedule the second call on the spot and you let them know that you will come back to them with a document. And guess what? 90% of the time, they will be impressed because no one else is doing this. Everyone wants to collect cash. Everyone wants money. And therefore, everyone else is pitching on the first call. When you don't, you are already separating yourself from the crowd. Now, let's talk about what is going to happen between call number 1 and call number 2. Let's talk about the audit document. And this is the piece most people skip. And it's the single biggest reason close happens on call 2. In the 48 hours between the calls, you build a document. It can be a Google slide or a clean PDF, whatever, 8 to 15 page, nothing fancy, all substance. You don't even have to do it yourself. You can use Claude or ChatGPT. Just take the transcript of your call, give it to them, and use the prompt you will find inside my free school community. Now, here's what the document will look like. On the first page, you just want to take their situation and use their exact same words, not what you understood. You want to talk their language, use their own words. For instance, you mentioned that company XYZ is generating about $30,000 a month, but you feel stuck because your pipeline is entirely referral based. You just want to use their own words. And when they see this on the screen, something clicks. They think this guy actually listened. Page number 2 to page number 4, you want to talk about your diagnosis. You want to talk about what you found in the 48 hours of research. Competitor gaps, what's bleeding money, opportunities. Be specific. If you had a look at their funnel and found a drop-off point, say exactly where. Don't be vague, otherwise they will think you're a beginner. I want you to be very specific about your findings. And that's how you sound like an expert. Page number 5 to page number 7, you want to talk about the solution, not your whole offer, their specific solution. What you would do, in which sequence, what kind of tools you will use, what problem you will solve, the timeline, and you want to make them feel that this is built for them. Page number 8 to 10, you just want to have targeted proof. And this is where the social proof is the most important thing. I don't want you to send random portfolio work. I want you to send something very specific to them. It might be someone in their niche, or maybe someone that you helped that was in a similar situation, or someone that was facing the same problem. Let's say they're a coach struggling with lead generation. In this case, you just show how you solve the same problem for a similar business with the exact same solution. The closer the match, the more your prospect will think, this could be me. Now, for the last pages, what you want to do is you want to talk about the next steps. You want to talk about a second call, what's going to happen on a second call, let them know you'll walk them through the entire game plan, show them exactly how it will look like, how your onboarding works, how your system works, what they can expect, and you are also going to talk about pricing. So you want to send this to your customer before the first call and the second call. And most importantly, you want to record a short Loom video that you will send them directly by email and WhatsApp, just to let them know that you've put something together for them. And now, before even revealing your price, the document you just sent does 3 things. First, it demonstrates expertise. You found things they didn't know you would find. Second, it creates buy-in before the call. They've read it. They've seen their problem described accurately. And third, it removes the I need to think about it, because they've already been thinking. You sent the document 24 hours earlier. Now, let's go to the juicy part of this video. Call number 2, the closing call. So, you send the document. They've read it. They confirm the second call. Here's how it opens. You don't start with, oh, did you get a chance to look at the document? You want to build authority. So again, you want to have an icebreaker. You want to set the temperature, frame the call. Here's what is going to happen today. By the end of the call, you will know exactly how we can solve a specific problem. You will know the investment, the timeline, and everything that is involved. Before I walk you through what I put together, what stood out to you? What resonated in the document I sent you? Let them talk. The moment they start telling you what resonated in themselves, they're re-articulating their own problem in your framing. They've processed the document and come back to tell you what matters to them. Your job is only to listen, confirm, and redirect. They're gonna tell you, yeah, actually, this part I had some questions, this part is pretty important, and then you build authority again. Yes, this is exactly why the second phase starts with X. I want you to bridge their words to your solution, their language, but your framework. Walk them through the document. You're not pitching, you're presenting a diagnosis and a prescription. Now you're just gonna walk them through what you're gonna solve for them, exactly how it works. And before revealing the price, I just want you to ask this question. Based on everything I told you, on a scale to 1 to 10, how confident are you in the fact that this solution can solve a specific problem? And they're gonna give you a ranking most of the time between 7 and 10. If they say, let's say 7, just ask them, okay, that's a great ranking. What did you actually enjoy? Why is it a 7? They're gonna tell you what they like. And then you're just gonna ask, okay, can you just please tell me what's missing in this offer so it can deserve a 10. And now they're gonna start bringing objections before you have even revealed the price. Now, once you solve these parts, it's pretty easy. Alright, sir, to do a quick recap, we're gonna do X, Y, Z. It's gonna take X amount of time. You will get A, B, C, and D, and it's going to solve a specific problem. It's gonna take 3 months, and the total investment for this is $10,000. Say the number, and then you just shut up. And this is exactly the hardest part for beginners. Everything in you wants to fill the silence. And I get this because I was exactly in your shoes. The customer is not talking, you're not talking, it's super silent, it's weird. But you just want to let them do the talking first. And now, if they say it's too expensive, do not justify the price. Go back to the cost of the problem. You can use something like, okay, I understand it's an investment. However, let's say it was free. Will you still be in a situation where you want to solve a specific problem? They're gonna say, yes, it's important for me, blah, blah, blah. You just wanna ask how important it is. They're gonna say, yes, it's super important for me. And then you can just say, okay, can you please tell me how urgent it is for you? And then what you're doing here is that you are not putting yourself in the same boat as your customer. You're thinking besides them. Instead of being in front of them, kind of like facing them. And then usually before I actually even re-challenge the price, I will use a framing such as, okay, dear client, I understand. It's an investment. However, I want you to be honest with me. Most of the time, people who think it's too expensive are mainly concerned by 2 reasons. Number 1, they don't have enough trust in our capacity as an agency to solve a specific problem. Number 2, they really have a cash flow issue. I want you to be honest. What's the situation? And then if it's a trust issue, you just need to build more reports. It means that your discovery phase wasn't good enough. If it's not a trust issue, it's a cash flow issue, which happens 80% of the time. You want to be like, I understand. What happens if this situation is still the same in 6 months from now? You want to leverage the cost of inaction. Let them answer. They know the answer. You just need them to say it out loud. Again, for the full objection handling framework, it's in the last video. The one rule specific to this price point, if they go cold after the first call, you just follow up once. If they go cold after call number 2, you have to move on. Premium positioning means you don't chase. The moment you start chasing, you signal that the price is negotiable. It's not. Quick pause, guys. If you're enjoying this video and if you want the complete system, not just the close but the full path from zero to your first premium client, I have a free community with an 8-hour masterclass inside. It's called the EHCC Formula. You can join it absolutely for free. There is no catch. The link is in the description. Inside, I will cover how to find your service idea, how to structure your offer, how to price it, how to find clients, and how to close them. I built this because when I was starting out, I had to piece this together myself, and I want to shortcut that for you. So take action now. It's totally free. Click in the description and I'll see you there. Alright guys, back to the video. Now let me explain you why this works at $10,000 and not at $500. I want to be precise about something. This system, the 2 calls, the audit document, wait for the silence, is specifically designed for the premium price point. If you're selling a $300 service, you don't need this process. You need simplicity and speed. But at $10,000 per month, the client is making a serious commitment. They need to feel that the person they're hiring did the work to deserve that trust. The audit document is that proof. The 2 call structure is that signal. One without the other doesn't work. The 2 calls without the document is just a slow pitch. On the other hand, the document alone without the 2 call structure will lose the positioning effect. Together, you're not a freelancer with a proposal, you're a specialist with a diagnosis. Now guys, I want to tell you something. Beyond Bekir that has incredible results with this formula, you also have Malou. She was a nurse, she's from Canada, she knew nothing about sales and marketing. First week after joining us, she closed 5 clients, $18,000 in a week. Can you just imagine? But you also have Vincent. He has an offer for therapists. He's helping them with marketing. And in 6 weeks, he went from 5,000 euros a month to 37 euros a month. He did 9 sales at 4,000 euros in a single day. You also have Sarah. She has a parenting coaching offer. She made 50,000 euros in 3 days with the same process. And this is the pattern. If you have the right offer, the right positioning, the process that matches the price point, the numbers will move super fast. 2 calls, 1 document, 1 silence. That's the system. And if you are starting from zero like Bekir was, your number is probably not 20k in a month. Your number might be 1 close. And that's what you are working toward right now. And the way you get there is, don't pitch on the first call. Spend 48 hours, build something specific, say the number, then stop talking. It's simple. Not easy, but simple. If you enjoyed this video guys, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, and when we hit 5,000 subscribers, I'll be doing a live draw. 1 subscriber will win a full one-on-one coaching session with me, plus the latest MacBook Air. So hit subscribe, turn on the notifications, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.